Is this chapter 7? I wonder. I think it is. No! I opened my mouth in a terrified cry. Gretchen, what's your problem? Clark stepped out from his wardrobe. So Clark, what I say? Clark is all nice and safe. Or is he? He wore a t-shirt, baseball cap, trainers, and his pajamas bottoms. Oh, no problem, I stammered, my heart still panning. Then why did you scream? Clark demanded. And why did you look so weird? I look weird. You're the one who looks weird, I snapped. I pointed to his pajama bottoms. Where are your trousers? I don't know. He shook his head. I think Mum must have packed them in your suitcase by mistake. I have to stop letting this big old house spook me. Clark is the only one with the wild imagination, not me. I reminded myself again. As we remember, she came into Clark's room and he was not there. But he was in the wardrobe, so it's all nice and safe. No monster in the house. Or is there? Come on, I told my stepbrother. Let's go back to my room and look for your jeans. On the way down to breakfast, Clark stopped to peer out the hall window. The mist had cleared. The dew-covered plants glistened in the sunlight. It looks quite pretty, doesn't it? I murmured. Yeah, Clark replied. Pretty creepy. The kitchen looked pretty creepy too. It was dark, almost as dark in the morning as the night before. But the back door was open and some sun splashed on the floor and the walls. We could hear the sounds of the swamp through the open door, but I tried to ignore them. Grandma stood by the stove, a spatula in one hand, a huge plate of blueberry pancakes in the other. She set down the spatula. I should have drank some water before reading. She set down the spatula and plate and wiped her hands on her faded flower apron. Then she gave us each a big good old morning hug, smearing Clark with pancake batter. I pointed at the stains on the shirt and giggled. Then I glanced down at my shirt, my brand new pink t-shirt, splotched with blueberry stains. I glanced around the kitchen for something to use to clean my shirt. The room was a disaster. Globs of pancake batter dripped from the stove. Batter covered the worktops and stuck to the floor. Then I took a good old look at Grandma. She was a disaster too. Her face was striped, it was striped, or striped, blue and white, flour and blueberry. Stains filled in the creases of her wrinkled cheeks. She had flour streaks across her nose and chin. Did you sleep well? She smiled, and her blue eyes crinkled. With the back of her hand, she wiped a wisp of her grey hair from her eyes. Now a glob of blueberry batter nested in the thin strands of her hair. I did, Grandpa answered, as a loud streak rang out from the swamp. Almost always do. It's so quiet and peaceful here. I had a smile. Maybe Grandpa is lucky that he's hard of hearing, I thought. Yeah, indeed, he's hard of hearing. Maybe that's why he didn't hear all those shriekeries, unless he ignores them willingly. Who knows? Grandpa headed out the door, and Clark and I brushed ourselves off. Then we took our seats at a table. In the middle of the table sat another plate of blueberry pancakes. This plate was even bigger than the one Grandma had been holding, and it was stacked high with blueberry pancakes. Grandma must think we eat like pigs, Clark leaned over and whispered. There's enough here for 50 people. I know, I groaned. I will have to eat them all, otherwise she'll be insulted. We do? Clark gulped. That's one of the things I really like about my stepbrother. He believes almost everything I tell him. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Help yourself, Grandma chirped, carrying 2 more plates of pancakes to the table. Don't be shy. Why did Grandma make all these pancakes? I wondered. There's no way we could eat all of them. No way. I placed a few pancakes on my plate. Grandma heaped about 10 on the Clark's plate. His face turned green. Grandma sat down with us, but her plate remained empty. Okay. She didn't take a single pancake. All those pancakes, and she didn't even take one. I don't get it, I thought. I just don't get it. What's that you're reading there? She pointed to Clark's rolled-up comic sticking out of his back pocket of his jeans. Creatures from the Muck, he answered between bites. Oh, how interesting, Grandma replied. I love to read. So does Grandpa Eddie. We read all the time. We love mysteries. There's nothing like a good old mystery, Grandpa Eddie always says. I jumped up from the table. I just remembered Grandma and Grandpa's presents were still packed in my suitcase. Books! Mysteries! Dad had told us they loved them. Is there any mystery around that could grab my leg? Because I'm high up in the tree. If my leg or my foot gets grabbed, I'm flying across the space. Be right back, I excused myself and dashed upstairs. I started down the long, winding hall to my room, then stopped when I heard footsteps. Who could it be? I gazed down the dark hall. I gasped when I spotted a shadow moving against the wall. Someone else was up here. Someone was creeping towards me. Chapter 8. I pressed my back against the wall, held my breath and listened. The shadow slid out of my view. The footsteps grew softer. Still holding my breath, I inched down the dark, twisting hallway. I peeked around a corner and saw it. The shadow, nearly shapeless in the dim light, it moved slowly along the dark green walls, growing smaller as the footsteps faded in the distance. I crept swiftly but silently, chasing the shadow through the corridor. Whose shadow is it? I wondered. Who else is up here? I crept closer. The shadow on the wall loomed large again. My heartbeat quickened as I chased the mysterious shape. The shadow turned another corner. I hurried to the turn and as the shadow turned another corner, I hurried to the turn as quietly as I could and stopped. Whoever it was stood right there, just beyond the turn. I took a deep breath and peeked around the corner and saw Grandpa Eddie. Grandpa Eddie carrying a huge platter stacked high with blueberry pancakes. How did Grandpa get here? That's a mystery. I wondered. I thought I'd seen him go outside. Grandpa had come in through another door. I decided that has to be it. This house is huge. It probably has lots of doors and halls and stairways I haven't discovered yet. But what was he doing up here carrying an enormous tray of pancakes? Where was he taking them? What a mystery. A mystery indeed, I must say indeed. Grandpa Eddie carefully balanced the big silver tray between his hands as he made his way down the hall. I have to follow him, I thought. I have to see where he's going. I padded down the hallway. I wasn't too worried about being quiet now. After all, Grandpa didn't hear too well. I walked only a few meters behind him. When I heard the sounds, I froze, sniffing behind me, furious sniffing. You haven't really met this person, the grandma, granddad, they never really met, so can you really trust that he's deaf, I wonder, or hard of hearing? Oh, no, Charlie! Charlie bounded down the hall towards me, sniffing furiously. Then the dog spotted me and stopped. Good dog, I whispered, trying to shoo him away. Go back, go back. And he broke into a run, barking his head off. I grabbed for his collar as he tried to dodge me, to race down the hall to Grandpa. I grasped the collar tightly. He barked even louder. Rose? Grandpa Eddie called out. Is that you, Rose? Come on, Charlie, I whispered. Let's get out of here. I dragged Charlie around the corner before Grandpa could catch me spying on him. Tugging the dog, I ducked into my room. I sat down on the scratchy blanket for a second to catch my breath. Then I quickly rummaged through my suitcase for Grandpa and Grandma's mystery books. Where was Grandpa going with those pancakes? I wondered as I hurried down the stairs with the presents. Why was he creeping along so silently? It was a mystery I had to solve. If only I had minded my own business. ... Chapter 9. A mystery indeed. Grandma and Granddad carrying, or should I say, preserving a creature, a monster. Oh, never mind, I was going to put it in this pocket, but I forgot I got this tucked into the trousers of mine. Because don't want nothing loose when climbing the tree, because I'll get tugged like a creature, or should I say, creature tugging me, and I will be low. Nah, you know what? There's not a bit of a speaketh, because I think chapter 9 is waiting for us. So you know what? Fuck. Shalom. You know, actually, a monster, do you have to be very what? Be careful when it comes to monsters. Monsters actually only creep and tug you when... 1 second, please. You know what? I don't really know nothing about monsters. That's why I'm reading about monsters. Maybe we can actually learn about monsters so we don't really, we don't get affected by them. Okay. Oh, bye.